Welcome to Dyson Sphere. My name is Nilas, and this is episode 29 of our Let's Play campaign. So, did you survive without a day of my Let's Play? I don't know. I'm back. Don't worry. So, yesterday instead of a Let's Play episode, I had a tutorial. So check out that. It's a tutorial on how to do the polar hub that we're doing on every planet. So I think that's pretty cool and something that we've been refining over the course of this Let's Play into the form that it has now, where I'm just super happy about it. We're going to start on this planet, and today we'll be speed building a new Dyson Sphere, because if we look at this location, it's just chugging along. It's going pretty well. If we look at this sphere out here, oops, remember, subscribe. Got that sorted. So that's the subliminal. Can you really call it subliminal messaging when it's literally the size of, I don't know, the orbit of the inner star? I don't know. We'll call it subliminal messaging. See if it works. And you can see these are just filling up in here, and they just need to get more of this. And right now the consumption rate, let's do that on Dyson Sphere. Here you can see it is consuming more than it's putting in. I have turned off the firing from Anchor 1. So Anchor 1 is no longer shooting. So I'm just going to have... This one's just working slowly, nicely. It'll get done. The real issue here is... This is interesting. Why are we consuming this much when we're only putting this many sale points in? Does that mean they also expire? Anyway, the point here is that the sell points, that's this rate at which they can be placed, can go in here, because there's only a few points where they can go in. I'm going to go to this overlay. For example, these points here, they're completely full. They have everything. So it's only like few points like this one where it's coming in, but they're capped at 120. So I can only get 120 in, and someone was helpful enough in the comments previously when I asked the question. It can consume one every 2 seconds. That makes perfect sense. So they'll make like a stream that goes into this location, and hopefully we can see that if we get closer. Maybe not. Oh yeah, it's just probably coming in really close. So that can take 120, that one can take 120, this one. So it's only like a few points all the way around that can take 120, but all the stuff outside is already full. So we're at a stage where we're almost done with this one, and we just need to give it time and just make sure that there's just a little swarm around here to feed it, but that's it. That means our magnificent 120 solar sails per second build is being left pretty much unused, as well as we are not launching any rockets at all. Here we're just stuck on stuckness. This one is requesting, but yeah, there's nothing really to do here. Actually, I will probably not ever do anything on this one, so I could set it to remote, because it's like 10,000 right here. That's a lot. But, you know, I like having this one available, so if I decide to expand, I have everything. Oh, man, it just feels so bad doing that, right? It feels so bad just leaving 10,000 here. Well, whatever. So what I want to do is I want to build a new Dyson Sphere. And the point is that it's more going to be a prestige project than it's going to be anything else, because, I mean, I have 60 gigawatts of power here. Why would I need any more, right? I could just ship it everywhere I want, and I should have plenty of power. But you know, the game is called Dyson Sphere Program, so let's build some Dyson Spheres. All right, so we're heading to Guinea Prime. That is our science facility. I think that's a good place, because that's already where we're building some aesthetic things, and we have some useless planets there. And yeah, well, I guess we've been chatting away, so we're already actually getting in here. We are launching from Guinea Prime 2, so we have to find Guinea Prime 3. That is, if I recall correctly, a boring planet. And I think, if I am not mistaken... Oh, don't miss the planet. That's so embarrassing. That would never happen to me. Oh yes, here we go. So this is the polar hub, the one we've been making a tutorial about. The one thing I've made a difference, and this is something I've done for every single one I've done in my in this Let's Play. I went to every single planet, and I fed it a purple belt all around, because, damn it, it looks awesome. And it just, so it serves two purposes, one more than the other. It looks awesome. There you go. That's the main one. The second one is, it makes a very clear delineation between this thing is the sacred temple grounds for the Temple of Effectiveness. while the rest of the planet can be used as we see fit. What I've done here is all the usual things, but I've done one thing different. This is tower number 7. This will request now some launchers and some railguns, because we need those on this planet. And that's where we actually where it actually comes in. Let's see, we are going to get from number 8. And what I need to build on this planet now is I need to do 3 things in this episode. I need to design a new sphere. I need to make an equatorial rocket launch facility that goes all the way around the world so that the entire equator just shoots rockets. And I'm going to make polar solar sail launch hubs. And then we're going to run out of power, but then we'll deal with that. And I'll just get some power poles. That's number 4, so that's number 1 there. And let's take a full range of that, and also take a full range of that. We are just going to drag our power poles towards the equator, because that's where we're going to start. And all of this pattern is just my usual, so if you feel this is weird, then I can just say that there is a method to the madness. There's our equator. And do I want to go all the way around? Nah, I don't want to do all of it. That takes a while. We can do that when we do a little cut. Alright, so at the equator, we are going to do some launches. And let's go take a look at how that launching is going to happen. Because these are gigantic. But they are also, I mean, even though they're gigantic, they're also not as big as they look. So there's been a comment like, okay, you can actually build it like this. Is it like this? I think like this, maybe. And then you can make them actually feed into each other. You can only do this if you're close to the equator, because the curvature, if you get further up towards the poles, then the curvature between these two means that there's the inserter would be curving instead of going in a straight line. This is really interesting how that being kept tight. So I could do that, but honestly, 2 things. First of all, it's going to be a lot of launches. We already have too many launches if we go all the way around. But the other thing is, this doesn't look good, I think. And third thing is, I don't think it looks good. What I think I like is something more akin to this. So that on either side, I think we need to get this a bit closer, but not too close. Like this, maybe. We can make it in here and still have him connect. But this one will ensure that we have inserter there. That's not an insert, that's a sorter. So we're gonna get things inbound, and that's gonna be inbound right there. This will be requesting some rockets. They'll be requesting it locally, because I'm gonna have multiple of these locations. So what we can do is just get some of this in. Actually, none of these, because it'll only be local. And there. Get this out here. And now it seems kind of silly that I have to go around this one. Oop. In here. And there. I'll just make the shortest possible we can do here. You can't make it 1 tile. You have to make it 2 tiles out. So that also limits how close you can make it. And power. Sorter. That means if I put the belt in first, then I can just copy these with the sorters, thanks to our mod, copy inserters. So this looks pretty good. And also when it comes around from the other side, I can also have it. Actually, let's build this first. So I'm gonna get from here in, and a short one, and a short one, and then I can take these here. And so and on this line it goes over, and there. So that means it goes around, and this from here will just, let's go out of, we'll just supplement this belt as it moves around. That makes perfect sense. So I'll be saturating the belt, hopefully. And then I just need this all the way around. The way it works is that with this pattern here, it will tile by half a sphere, not by a quarter of the sphere. So we're gonna need to make a lot of this, and I think that's the first part. Is just you build these all the way around, and that's definitely not something we should do. But the one thing we don't have is like, what about power? So I could be building this like every other location like this. Actually looks okay, doesn't it? But the thing is, then it will have like a lot of these things sticking out, and I'm not super happy about it. So I'm actually going to, and then I'd have to sort of every other one, I'd have to curve the belt around. That's going to be awful as well. So no, I'm going to do some other things like power poles here, and they're going to be, if I do something like this, then it will work. Because if I only do one, let's just try that. If I only do one here, it doesn't cover that one. If I make it like as close as possible, it still can't cover that one. So I have to have two of those. And if I say like this, then it won't be reaching the next one. So no matter what, I do have to have two here. So what I'm doing is just this pattern, so I make sure that they're covered, and I can then reach to the next location. Let's build the next location just so that we can see that it works. Yeah. And here. And then the power pole, That's it. That's going to be the pattern. All I need is just a lot. And if I recall correctly, it is it 24? It's 24 on either side, so it's 48. It's going to be 96. If we do some calculations on the 96, if these ones are launching 5 per minute, so I have 96 by 5 per 96 times 5, that means 480 per minute are going to be launched, which corresponds to 8 per second. So if we do this all the way around, we're going to be launching 8 rockets per second. That seems pretty good, doesn't it? All right, let's do some build on this one. And so this one is now done. All the way around the world we have done this, and if you've spotted some mistakes on one of these connections, that's okay. I'm going to do a validation run before, just to making sure the belts actually flow all the way around. So I'm just going to do those kind of things off camera, so don't worry, we'll find any defects that are there, I hope. So also another thing, I picked up 100 of the launchers, and I have 0 left, so that means there must be 100 all the way around. That means that increases our launching speed with slightly more, so it's going to be 8.33 per second. We're launching. That's pretty good. So what we now have is all our launching set up. It's ready. As soon as we have something brought into the planet, it will actually be distributed here immediately. So that's good. Now the next thing we want to do is actually figure out where we do the shooty, as we call it. It's just because it's called EM rail ejector. Why is it an EM? What does the EM stand for? Oh, electromagnetic maybe? It could be electromagnetic rail ejector. That would make sense. So one of the things is like these do not need line of sight. So I can just they'll just shoot. So that's good. And the other thing though is the rail will need line of sight, so if I build something at the North Pole and at the South Pole, then I should be pretty good coverage in terms of just getting shooting everywhere. It will be, so if you look at this, the orbital inclination, that is how it compares to the orbit, the plane here of the sun. So that means if we look at that, there's going to be like a plane here, and they're all pretty much at the same plane. Otherwise they would have bumped into each other a long time ago. But it's still slightly off, and that's the 4.53% off. The actual rotation is when we get closer here. How much is it slanted towards sort of being straight on this belt? That would be like 0 degrees, and then it's just tilted a bit off the side. You can see from here, it's slightly tilted. This line does not go exactly through the equator. There's a slight slant there. That means that you can see here, this is now the winter zone, so it doesn't cover this part. And if you look at the summer zone, it covers the entire polar region. But it's only like a small area around here that's covered, and the greater the actual inclination, the more part it'll be shifted. But that means basically we should be able to see half of the top and half of the bottom always shooting. We're gonna have to build some kind of design here. This is a good one. We will take at this location, we will take some, oops, that's not, I'll take sails in, and I will take rockets in. Rockets are super expensive, so we've been stockpiling those. Oh, that one, that little purple one. There's just no way for me to fix that. I know that it's bugging people. I can't fix it because it just won't slide it in here. It's a slight variation. Anyway, we are going to build ejectors. I want to get this one sort of out here, and then the question is, how are we going to build? We can build it here, and we can build it here. So that's as close as they can be built together. Well, technically maybe I could get them slightly closer. Can I? No, they can actually be closer here. So I'd like to have something like this, maybe. That means these two are on the same pattern. Obviously I could get these slightly closer, and that would be fitting in more, but then there wouldn't be any kind of symmetry. So I'd much rather have like this. Oh yeah, and that should be here. And I'm not touching the purple lines, so otherwise I would like to have it more and more in. Now, moving one out, then we have a new band here, and that means we can build it here, here. Now these obviously won't be matching very often, at least, but it will give us the opportunity here to get. That one has to be one off, and then the other ones are exactly and on the lines there. And I have sort of delimited by this one so we can get it up and running again. Good. What I'm then going to do is I am going to take a bit of this out, and we're going to curve through this there. No ups and downs here. Just making sure this passes through one way, and oops, this passes through the other way. And let's just start simulating some of this so we get sort of an idea about how I want to build it. Here. Alright, so this will be prioritizing inbound and prioritizing further down. So I want the stuff that comes in here should primarily try to go as far out as possible, because otherwise it'll, yeah, it just needs to go as far out as possible. So filling up the outer lane first, all the way out there. Then anything that flows around will always take priority over the stuff that comes in. That just makes sense. You want to make sure that it keeps flowing so it doesn't back up. So keep it flowing, and that should be okay. All right, so that's basically how I want it. I'm going to push it outside, and then I want the belts flowing around to keep going. Now here is another issue. When you build these, absolutely, without a doubt, always make sure that you put this in here before, because otherwise you have to set the recipe on all of them manually afterwards, and that sucks. Same with the inserters. Let's get those as well. So we need to make sure that this is set, and also then take the other ones out because this one is now our master. Goes from here and in. We can take all the other ones out right now, but we do need to just build like a tiny bit further here, just to get a sense of what it's going to be like. Then we're going to pave the whole thing, because that's important. And yeah, well, that's going to be paved down there. So let's get this one. And that will be on the road there. That one. Because the one thing I'm looking for is power poles as well. If I do this thing all the way around, then I'm going to have to disconnect between this and this. And if I do that all the way around, then I don't have any power. So we also need to make sure that we can actually power these. That's always like a bit of a challenge. So because you can't put them in between, but there's always a spot in here. Boom. Start directing. And that one, it's going to be slightly off. How did that one not get connected? And I'll do that one. Huh. Oh, that doesn't matter. Because I'm going to build another one there. And then the last one out here. And then I just have to go all the way around. And if I have to miss one of those, then it's okay. But I will be trying not to miss any of them. So what we need to do now is just build it all the way around. First pave it. Let's see, that's what we have here. So we're going to pave it. We're going to build belts. I will be doing outputs on the other side as well. So let's just do that one. This one will need to be taken out as well. There. Because I'm going to get potentially more than 1,000, I'm potentially going to launch too many solar sails for me to keep up with one belt. One belt is going to be 30, and I can potentially launch 60 around here. So that's not great. Well, it is great. It's actually super great, but it's something that we have to keep in mind. This one will be making sure that it's purple cubes, and here this is the last one. We'll also be doing that one. No local supply for sure, and that will go. Solar sails, solar sails, solar sails, solar sails, and solar sails. Just so that we have like that in order. Alright, let's start building it and then come back. And now all of these solar sail ejectors have been set up here at the North Pole, looking good. And I also did it at the South Pole because, well, no point in you also looking at that. However, before we can actually just start working on it, we are going to have a bit of an issue because each of these will require, okay, I can't even see it from here. Each of the EM rail ejectors will take 1.2 megawatts of power while operating. Yep, that's a lot. And I have 120 here plus 120 on the other side. So that is 360 times 1.2. That is 32 megawatts of power. Just for the rail ejectors. That's okay, we have that. Let's look at these bad boys here. Do they say how much? Nope, they don't say how much. But we can see that they just have 60 kilowatts. That's always the idle. But 18 megawatts, and I have 100 of those. So it's Well, 18 times 100. Let me just get the calculator for us for that one. So plus the 432. So that means it's 2.2 gigawatts of power we need. Now, how are we going to do that? My suggestion, which is probably going to be the one we implement because, well, I'm the only one who gets to do suggestions around here, is we make a little polar... Get ready for the puns. We make some power around the pole. So you can make it call it a power pole. Oh no. Yes, we're going to make a power pole here. There. And that's going to be with some suns, because we have lots of those. That one. And we'll see. So how many do we need of these? I think we need... If I have 2,200 and I'm going to... These are each 75, so 39. And I already have some, so if we'll see how many that gets placed around here. Plus, we have to remember on the other power pole we also have 8. So right now we have 16, and then we build it out here. Oh, this is actually just going to be twice as many. That one fits with that. That's the next one in here, so that's 16 more. So I have 32 in total once this one is built, and 32 is more than 29 if my math is correct. And that should put us at a comfortable position in terms of power, as long as we make sure we feed it enough antimatter fuel. So now we're actually starting to consume quite a bit of antimatter fuel. I'd love to have this one actually consume the power from the Dyson Sphere, but the thing is I don't have the Dyson Sphere by the time I need to start shooting, so I need to make sure that I actually have the power here. I'm gonna just get this one, and I don't need it from off planet. Let's see. Okay, so that one actually did put in here. So I can just get like 1,000 of this. Local demand, no supply. Good, that will come in, and I will just get it in there. And then I'm gonna get it from somewhere. And there maybe? Hopefully there's room. Maybe I shouldn't have requested it just yet. There. And this one should be focusing on getting outside. And let's see. If we get some of these inbounds, then let's see if that fires up all of these suns. Oh, there we go. Whoosh, whoosh. Oh, this looks good. Looks good. When they just fire up one by one. And it goes out to the outer rim. Oh, you can hear the roar in the background. And let's look at our power in the meantime. It just keeps going up on the total power generation. We need 2.2 and a tiny bit more. There we go. So we have enough. We have 2.3. Yep, we have enough power. Alright, that's good. So now there's only one thing remaining. Oh yeah, by the way. I'd like all of these to launch at the same time. So in order for me to make sure that they launch at the same time, what I need to do is make sure that we are actually bringing in all of the rockets first. Yes, so now I'm gonna get all these in. They'll be put in here, then they will be brought into these, and they'll be filling up the belt and filling up the internal buffers. And once all that is done, only then can I go in and build my Dyson Sphere, because if I do that now, then they'll start shooting immediately, and I actually want to wait until that's saturated. So let's wait until that comes in, and then we can saturate the belts around the equator, so that when we go in and design our new sphere and press done, then it will start firing immediately. That should be pretty cool. Okay, they're coming in now. That's the first half, the ones that were sent from the Kappa Sagittari back here. And that should also make sure that these are now local supply, but they're not being picked up. Oh, right, because I did not set those yet. Actually, I don't even need to go here. That one, come on, hit it. Will just be local demand, and the other end of the world over here will also be local demand. Good, so they will be coming in. I'll just wait. This one will come in first, and they're already coming in. And let's see if the belts work. They should. Alright, you can actually see already. Are they Yes, they're putting 20 in here. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. But that's okay. And what I'm going to look for is when this belt fills up. Because when this belt fills up, that means the other one has also been requested. And then it's coming in here on this belt. And unfortunately, there's no way of seeing if they're full or not yet. So we are just going to have to wait until we get this one inbound. Where is it? Where is it? You'd expect that a lot of it to be consumed already. That's not good. It's not good. Oh, there we go. That tiny bit coming in. Alright, so let's follow this one back. So every time there's just 1/3 chance that it'll proceed. There we go. That one continues. Ah, it got eaten. That one goes through. And that one goes through. And it gets eaten. And next one goes through. Yes, it's coming in. It's coming. And it goes through. It's important. And it also gives us a chance to see if they are all working. And there we go. Now this one is stacking up and everything should be fine now. Because now we know we have it all the way around. Actually, do we? We don't actually know if the other one for some reason wasn't working. Then there would be, if there was a gap, then this belt wouldn't be full. But it is. There are slight gaps here. That's just, they don't have the compression yet that Factorio has. Cool. Let's go, oops, not to this one. Alright, so we are now ready. All of this is saturated, and the only thing we have remaining is actually building the Dyson Sphere. As soon as we build the Dyson Sphere, we are actually going to get the stuff inbound. So what I can do is, when you press the Dyson Sphere, you can check that one to run games. That means the game pauses in the background. So if we want to go all in, then I set up actually the demand for this immediately, and before they come in, I hit the Y button to go into the Dyson Sphere. All right, so let's try doing that. That's 1. That's 2, and then on the South Pole, that's 3 and 4, and then we press. So at this point, oh, not run game. So now the game is paused. Nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. We can make a new sphere. And we want to make it big. Oh yeah, and I should at this point mention, this is a bit of a prestige project. Not gonna lie, this is very much a prestige project. So, oh, see now it's too close to the planet orbit. We're gonna get it on the outside of the planet. The inner planet, we want the inner planet to be inside. How far do we have to go? Alright, well that's 20,000 then. There. Nice big square. Whoop. And whoop. There. We're just going to do that. We have no indication of where, what, why, how. So we'll do it there so it matches up with where the Dyson swarm is starting. That seems good. Boom. That's our new layer. There. So, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, let's start by doing this. I have a plan. And either you like it, either you love it, or you hate it. And I don't care because I love it. And this is just to let me know when you see what it is. I wonder what that is. Yes, it's a bit fat in the middle, but I mean, so am I. So that's just the way it is. Then we need a circle around. Circles are always horrible to make. I think that's going to be too big of a square, right? No, that can actually be done. Okay. Let's just take that out for now. So I want this one to be, I want it to be like a negative, or I don't know what you'd say. Like, let's build this one. That seems weird that it works like that. This is definitely not going to be working. Oh, it is working. How the hell is that working? Weird. Apparently it does. So one of the things that you have to keep in mind when you're building Dyson spheres is the balance between area and nodes and intersections. So the more nodes you have, the faster you can absorb solar sails from the swarm, because each one can only absorb 120 at a time, and that's 1 per 2 seconds. So more nodes means you can absorb faster. This one can absorb quite a lot. The lines here are basically, they just require more rockets, but on the other hand, even if they require more rockets, then you're still, how should I say this? Yeah, they do require more rockets, so don't need to have more than you absolutely need for this. This is, I think, the minimum we can do. It's kind of round, so let's also build one exactly at the opposite side. Where did our reticule go? Grid. Where's the grid? Oh, because I'm not on this one. Yeah. And we'll do it again. Another one. Is that okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And let's get the one out here. 1, 2, 3. And then build this area. I'm going to be funny if it just didn't work now. Nope, it does work. And continue. It's going to be 3 plus 3 and 1 in. 3 sort of diagonal. And that's definitely not 3, that's 4. And when you delete, be very careful about background. Don't want to accidentally delete your other things behind here. That one just tests. Does seem to work. From here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's at least consistent. There. And 1, 2, 3 here. Get that one up and running. There. Now that would be sort of something, but let's just add a bit more. Just some, I don't know, flair to it. So I think we'll just add what can only be either a crown or a flower. One thing that's interesting to see is, like, if you see this pattern here, you can see that they're kind of curving because they are following the edge of the surface of the globe, and it's called graticule, and I don't think it's correct, the naming. This one says it's geodesic, but it's not actually a geodesic. The geodesic here is sharp lines that actually intersect inside. They should be intersecting inside. They should be the great circle distance, right? So you can see these ones are straight lines, while these are curving to follow the surface. And just choose whichever one you like. I like the more flowery looks of this one instead of the more spiky one. So we're going to do this. And that's just going to be a bit of clickety-click back and forth. What are we going to do on the top side? I think we'll be doing the same thing. So it's going to be like some crowns here, there. Yeah, I think that looks good. It just makes it a bit, I don't know, a bit of a flair. I'm not good at aesthetic things. I mean, yes, aesthetic things as in it's going to be a nice square thing with straight lines. But anything that's more, let's say, freeform and artistic, well, it's not really my strong suit, as you probably could guess. So it's just finding some kind of repeatable pattern that looks okay, and then I'm happy. So that's it there. And we're also going to have to cut these into chunks so that they can actually be filled up, because they are too big to be filled up. So this is unfortunately using quite a lot of rockets. But am I saying unfortunately? Yeah, we want to make sure that we actually launch this. Oops. That we get a lot of rockets in. One of the things that I've been thinking about this is that how long time does it take to build all of our launching facility? The answer is a lot of time. And then how much time does it actually take to fill the stuff we need, right? Because okay, it's kind of difficult here. First things first, I have to make sure that that one is done. How long time does it actually take to launch all the rockets? Because if I spent, and this is kind of like what I am, if I'm doing 2 hours to set up a launching facility, but it's only going to be launching for, I don't know, an hour or so, then it does kind of feel wasted, doesn't it? Then I've been spending 2 hours on some infrastructure that's going to run for 1 hour. That's not a good deal. So this is more of, again, a bit of a prestige project. It would be, the right thing would be building something that you go like, okay, it might take 10 hours of play to fill this up, and that's fine. Like more like we do on the anchor system. But, you know, this is more of a, let's put our mega base to the test and just see how it can provide this. Obviously, we don't have the production to launch the rockets, but we do have the stockpile to launch it. So right now we've been building up a stockpile for a long time because we haven't been launching anything at the anchor system for a long time. So that stockpile is the one we're going to be burning through. And I think that's actually a good way to do it in terms of in terms of these spheres, because you're probably going to be, well, I'd much rather be producing at, I don't know, let's say 5 per second and then launching half the time at 10 per second instead of launching all the time at 5 per second, because when you launch you want to get the rockets into the sphere as fast as possible. Come on, let's see, and the game is not running, so nothing is happening until we exit this menu. That means as soon as we exit, I was about to say bad stuff is going to happen, but there will be an absolute flurry of activity. Every single rockets factory will launch. That's why it's so important that we have the power done up front. All right, so now it's time to fill these in. Something that's, if I click here, it can't color it because you can see that not all of the dots are white. I have to go up here so I can see the last one. So from the mouse cursor, I can see all of them, and then I can make it. That means if you have some odd shapes, you might have to sort of trace the mouse along the edge inside until it recognizes that, oh, it is an enclosed shape. It's a pretty ingenious solution to sort of checking the validity of shapes. But it also, in this case, you just make sure that you are clicking in a position where you can see everything. It took a while for me to figure that out. Okay, we have the Dyson Sphere swarm inside, and we have on the outside, we have our logos, logo, and a crown at the top and the bottom. That is going to look amazing. Are we ready to launch? I think I might take a save just to make sure that nothing goes wrong. All right, let's launch the game. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to rush down here and just hope. It's working! It's working! Okay, let's get off the planet. Okay, that is pretty impressive, right? Pretty impressive. That is one hell of a barrage coming in here. And if we look at out on this planet here, yeah, it's going to be a weird shape actually, because some of them will be launching directly and the other ones will be launching out and have to sort of go around. So it's going to be like these waves coming in. That is looking so weird. I don't know if I like it more than I like just having them sort of randomly shooting. They might actually get desynchronized at some point. I don't know. But let's rush into towards our sun. We are actually just going to be flying there. And you know what? We are not going to need as much overlay here. We just want to enjoy the view. And let's get closer to the sun. And we can see the lasers out here. I'm going to go tab here. They're shooting, yeah? They're not shooting as much as I would have hoped. Look at that. There's another wave coming out. And you can see already the structures are getting built here. Look how fast they're getting built. So we're going to go in and just take a peek at the Dyson Sphere structure as it's getting built. Look at that. That's already the next point is next. Look how fast it's going. And we're just going to slow down. And here we have the Dyson swarm getting started, and probably immediately they will start going out of the Dyson swarm. All of these other lines here, those are between the anchor system and the Satisfactory up there. Those are the two main hubs right now. Let's slow all the way down and get in here. Look how quickly this is being done. And you can see there are some rockets. They're heading to some other location somewhere to form a new node. here they come in from that node, that come into this node. And we can go to the Dyson Sphere overview just to look at this. And we're going to be spending a bit of time just absolutely enjoying the stupendously awesome build. It is so credible. This some also mentioned during the stream last time. There was just like the incredible thing that in an early access game they've decided that you can build whatever sphere you like. They even have 2 different graticals, 2 different overlays you can do, and you can build like your own memes on the sphere. Like, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that at all, but they did. They absolutely did. It's just one of those things that just blow me away at how awesome this is. So let's try and see if we can find this one. Which way do we think it is? This is it's the outer part of the N, and that one goes out to the sphere around it. Yep. And look at the flurry. So if this isn't impressive, I don't know what is. Oh, I love this game. I just absolutely love this game. This is the mandatory I love this game moment. It is so damn cool. So there's something being built over there. Oh, that's probably... Oh, that's the end on the other side that's being starting to form. And down here we have one of the spikes from the crowns. You could say that I could have built the end first, but I want to just build the whole damn thing. So what are we gonna do? Let's go into the Dyson swarm here. We have 160 nodes in total. And if we look at, this is the one that's being built first. That was the one we were looking at here. And if we look at it, it's almost completed actually. Yeah, every single one, or almost every single one that needs to go in here is already being assigned. And you can see that they're coming in here. Look at that flurry coming in. And you can see that right now, all of them are coming in. So 263 plus 67 is 330. So when this is 330, that means it goes out from this point halfway to the other node. This one halfway to the other node. This one halfway to the other node. And then at some point, there'll also be something assigned here. I really like the fact that they're not sort of just randomly going in, but they'll basically select a node. And once the node is selected, it'll be filled up. Like, for example, this one. Let's fill it up. Here we go. This is another... Lots of this, but it's still not only like one of them, but it's going out to multiple. So I think it's a really ingenious way that they've done this. So this node is pretty much done. That could be about like 20 coming in here. Yep, 13, 10. Oh, there's the last 6 remaining. So once those are in, this node is complete. What about this node? This node still has a number coming in again, and then we can just enjoy this, right? And there we go. Now this node is completely done. We can also see cell points are coming in here. This is from the Dyson swarm. We can see the Dyson swarm should be starting. Oh yeah, there. It starts splitting actually. Right there, it starts splitting. And there's actually already a swarm coming into these nodes. Can I unselect something? Yeah, I can. So they're going to be going out from this location in there to the nodes that are already ready. And that's the way we can see. Okay, it's slowly getting up there, but once it goes up to 120, then that's it. They cannot go faster than that. This is at 120, and now the cell points, every time one cell point goes in, another one gets picked out of the swarm. The swarm is increasing. It is. And you can see the beam of lasers here is just still looking good. You can see there are actually 2 beams of lasers. They are both, or rail ejectors, they're both coming in, both from the north and south pole, are shooting at the same time. The thing is, like, the solar cells here will increase, and the solar swarm, but because right now I can't consume them fast enough because I don't have enough nodes that are ready. But as these nodes get built, for example, this one is, all right, it's already starting to accept. What about, where can we find the least built node we have? That one maybe? Yeah, so this one is starting to get built, and now it's also starting to attract some of the cell points coming from the solar swarm. Anything down here? Yeah, like that's also like a flurry of rockets coming in, and this will just continue to launch. I think it'll actually be won't be, I don't think it'll run out. We should be going back and seeing how many rockets are actually needed. We can unfortunately not, with the base game, see how many cells points are needed for the entire thing. You'd have to sort of go in and check and summarize this one. No, you can't even summarize the cells. So you'd have to go into the checkpoint here, nodes, and say, okay, this is 4,800 plus this one is 5,000, and then summarize all the way. It's actually, what is really nice is that it's quite low numbers. None of these have like really high numbers. And that means they will actually start filling up. They can consume this sphere can consume a stupid amount of sails once it's really up and going. What we're going to do is we're going to jump back out here and we're going to look at the Dyson Sphere. You can see the number of solar sails being put in orbit. That's this number. In the swarm is, well, 1400 per minute. That's not much. And the consumption rate, though, is very, very low. And that's, of course, matching the cell points. And what we will see is that this number will gradually increase, and at some point it'll overtake this one as well. Something I don't like, though, and I think we might have an issue. Structure points here. Hold on, if I look at it 1 minute. No, this is better. This is better. This is about 50 per second, and that's exactly what I want. This one is, well, what is it, though? It's less than, let's say it's 500 and divided by 60, so that's 8.33. Didn't I say I want 8.33 is the rate I was looking at? And you can see there's a bit of fluctuation here on how they launch. Cell points are increasing. That's good. Cell points are increasing. If you look at 10 minutes, then of course there's not much, because it's only here that they start increasing. And then we'll just keep an eye on it. What I want to do now is, where are we? Oh yeah, we're very, very far away. I am going to go back to our rocket launching facility. Whoops, where are we? Just follow the blue beam. We're going to be spending a bit of time on this. So one thing I think is fair enough to mention at this point is, as we are just looking at the absolute stunning marvel that is our Dyson Swarm, our Dyson Sphere, and our Mega Base just really kick into gear. I think this is a good time to mention that if you like these videos, hit the like button and let me know in the comment section what more cool things you want to see. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, well, I hope that with megastructures such as this, I can entice you to say, hey, you know what, this channel might have more cool things that I want to follow in the future. So that, and even if you want to go all in and go super duper supporter, then I also have a Patreon that's linked in the description below. So if you want to support the channel and the work I do here, then there's a Patreon for that. And it's, of course, there's nothing sort of bonus you get your credit name in the credits, and you get access to save games. But aside from that, it's basically as if you want to support, then that's an option. So thank you to everyone who is supporting. Super awesome. What I will do in a future series is name the planets and solar systems after the Patreon supporters. Look at that little planet here. It might be ejecting. Luckily, we eject rockets from all the way around. Whew. Boom. So if we click on this, we can see how many in total. 37,900 is the total number we want. And we've already launched 5,000 rockets. Yeah, so what we are going to do here is just, I mean, I can watch this for hours. I don't know about you, but I think if we just look at that. And if we get another rocket launch coming as we near the sphere here. Go a bit too fast. There we go. Yep, that's our planet. I hope that you are enjoying this. I think what I want to do is just let it run for a bit, and then maybe we'll do. Let me think. What am I gonna do? You know what? What I'm gonna do is I am going to make a YouTube short with just some time lapse of this part. That's gonna be like a 60-second build of this, where we just do the initial rocket launching and just time lapse a bit on how to build this sphere. Unfortunately, you can't slow down. So that's gonna be where we end up at this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've absolutely enjoyed it. This is the culmination of some of the builds we built for a while. And then in the next episode, we'll be returning to the mega builds for green and purple science as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next episode. And as always, take care and stay effective.